back from that break. The morning show continues, and anytime it's time for sports. But I'm super excited because my boss Ankrah Abipimo free Qatar by when the first encounter. I'm talking about Ampofo Ankrah boss. By whom I saw the one take Ankrah free Qatar. But okay, so I boy Qatar come on. Yeah, of course. So me behind the scenes and come on hear me.
Morning. It's good. Me see the friends say. What's the word to use? Right. Yeah, we'll come in. A lot happened. The World Cup was fantastic and definitely behind the scenes. So far, I say it was for me the best World Cup ever. I attended.
Of course, and I mean, Ampofo so beside I'm Black Stars Diary one, and I'm the pioneer of Black Stars Diary, Ampofo Ankrah. He is behind this one. So I know say the coverage was superb. I mean, the stories behind the scenes. Not you say do World Cup. Some are looking for the results, games there, but behind the scenes stories. Yeah. Qatar and some play for. But as a Mokoyan, it was totally different.
I mean, before the World Cup, not negative stories, no. It superseded all the expectations. I mean, they were talking about, women are not given equal rights. You know, it's, what's the word to use? Very Islamic State, radical. Okay. They were very open, very hospitable. Transportation was on point. Communication was on point. Everything about the World Cup in Qatar, Mutala, I can't have any complaint. But before the World Cup, a certain section of the press were so negative. So sometimes you've got to be careful when you hear negative things. So get it closer now. You investigate. You find out. I think so.
I don't know. They wanted to see for themselves whether what the Western press is saying is true.
Yeah.
And Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, or say Qatar Tom he
I mean, for sure. And I think the second round, more people came to watch the second round because obviously their fans who were already there were telling them, Charlie Mumbra. Now, Qatar are fantastic. And especially Argentina, Morocco, France, those teams that went far, they brought more fans to the World Cup, second round, quarterfinal, semi-final. I mean, they made it so fantastic.
Yeah, sure, a holiday destination.
I think, that's what they want to do. Dubai, they're number one in that part of the world. But what Qatar wants to do is that they are almost pimping or kakrana. I just say VVIP holiday destination. But they have a way to catch up with Dubai. Dubai is, number one. However, Matissa Qatar, they have more money than Dubai, which is quite staggering to hear. If Qatar has more money than Dubai, then you can imagine what they can also do to your friend is saying, to beat,
to surpass them or beat them.
To surpass Dubai. So I'm looking forward to that. Good competition.
If someone spends 220 billion to organize a World Cup, taking them 11 years, you should know that the efforts they put in this.
It's unbelievable.
Because they've changed the perception of many. But Ampofo Ankrah, what actually went on during the World Cup. A lot of behind the scenes stories. Your footage is ready. Lots of them, and we'll be playing them as and when we have the opportunity. But Emra and Sema Ekoso I'm talking about the Bet Power Premier League, and dominated the airwaves. The match day 12, they are very, and you know that the only place you can watch the Bet Power Premier League start times at the patch channel 247 and Max TV. So match day 12, Kumasi Asante Kokopiemu, the Tamale Sports Stadium, and team Kumasi Asante Kokotinefi, sorry, and Great Olympics at the Pim. So now before that game, no matter draw me, they drew with the Diana goalless, and they also drew their game as well. But it wasn't a good one for them, and it was a very difficult game for them. Omuko PMO out to you, sorry for that, Tamale, and Omone out to you at the Pim. So 1-1, and as I game in a
Still with Leventius this time, he gets across in. Tamale City trying to play. Very careful, player goes down in the melee, and it will be an advantage of a free kick. Oh, Leventius fancies their chances. A shot from behind, but it's blocked. And a second bite of the cherry this time. Dese Mokwala has the better of Kote. Now he has to come back to defend. Kotoko now have an opportunity through the middle. Good turn by Mankona. He shoots straight into the waiting arms of Pongo Agbeko. Kotoko gradually pushing Tamale City players into their own half. Is Lamte at this stage? Goalkeeper came out, made himself large. Tamale City looking to make that incursion down that right flank. Mohamed he does well, sends it back, shot is on target, goalkeeper blocks. And there's another opportunity. And Asari once again to the rescue. Jack Basu is now Zeze, pushes up Dese Mokwala. Boateng is waiting for the boy, square to him. Oh! An unfortunate own goal. In the midst of the heat.
On the counter, I've told you, they've looked very dangerous. And just when Mokwala was released here, he's seen the run of Boateng, and I told you Zebo had gone for the kill. He's just trying to lay it on the carpet for Boateng, but Nabila, without stretching leg, trying to clear that danger, puts the ball at his own back net. But look at the pass from Mokwala.
Bounces awkward in the 18-yard box. It's not totally cleared yet. Shot is fired on target, and they're bucket again.
It's incredible finish from Babamu on his favorite foot, and here Kotoko not really dealing with it. It falls for Babamu and he blasts that ball straight into the post and into the net. The throw from Leventus, and Kotoko didn't deal with it very well here. The header from Boso, it set it up for Babamu. Hits it so well to the post and into the net, and City are back in the game.
And Kotoko get the ball out.
Kotoko anyhow to you game na ekoye 1-1 Tamale. It was a very entertaining one. Now Ankrah the Barbera Sports Stadium had to focus Ensuko Munich in Faisal, one of the most entertaining goalless draws mehu ewo bed pa Premier League.
Samuel Kusi fucking Faisal wants to shoot on his right. It's straight to Richard Montai. And it's Abdul Latif who swings one in fucking Faisal, and that's the closest Faisal have come.
Yaya is providing the magic on the right wing. Unfortunately,
it's a header by Faisal's Adumenchi. Isiama goes past Inkum. It's Kim Faisal on the move. Here is Enchi. Adum is a lovely tackle from Zakari. Referee says he went for the ball and not the man. Asantia Boa to Linda. And Linda has missed. We have some 2 minutes of stoppage time. It is Linda's drive onto the woodwork. Obin Jr. with a chance. It's blocked by Edu Jumon. Hearts, Kim Faisal, seconds away from playing goalless. It's Abednego Tete. Goes past Zakari. Abednego Tete, good save from Richmond Ayi. And that's the final whistle. It's over here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium.
Also drawing against King Faisal. Quickly and share results at PMO match day 12 of the Bedpa Premier League. Interesting results in Kwane PMO. Tamale City drawing 1-1 with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Then we had Samatex also beating Mechem United by a goal to no. Brekum Chelsea, Suetra Karele Kabako no so Intimante Mediema also got a 2-0 victory over in Swatre. Legon Cities and a Dreams FC game no will be Intimi Anto at now Honum. And Thursday, we had Great Olympics coming from 2 goals down to draw a 2-2 with BBN Gold Stars. Eduana and Sochi Kotoku Royal Shane Kamino so Ntimi Antimobi. RTU beating Ankrah Lions by 3 goals to 1. And I had to folk drawing goalless with a King Faisal. Yes, in the table on it here after match day 12. Interesting standards and young. Eduana leading the pack. They have 24 points. Kumasi Asante Kotoko Etosumienu with 20 points. Had to folks who are 20 points. They are third on the table. BBN Gold Stars Etosu 4th with 19 points. Ankrah Lions are fifth on the table with 19 points. So RTU Etosu 6th with 18 points. Mechem United and Mediema now was 17 points. They are 7th and 8th respectively on the league log. And our Dreams FC Etosu 9th with 16 points. We are at the top half of the table. You share the second half of the table. Send Nyema Legon Cities find themselves 10th with 16 points. Brekum Chelsea who was 16 points. They are 11th on the table. Dumienu, that is Great Olympics. They have 16 points as well. And Swatman who was 16 points. They are 13th on the table. 15th points. Samatex 15 points. They are 14th on the table. King Faisal, they say almost 14 points. They are 15th. And the last 3 teams on the Ghana Premier League table are Karela United, almost 16th with 13 points. Tamale City also 17th with 11 points. And Sana Kotoku Royals and so also 18th with 7 points. Yeah, match day 12, very interesting. Kumasi Asante Kotoko coach Seydou Zebo Nebonyo Sokra after that game against Tamale City. Oshe Kasa na Kasa na chese ni buofu papa. Even the assistant coach Orlando Wellington confirmed that the Seydou Zebo was not happy. 3 draws in their last 3 games.
Yep, not happy, but also he needs to look at his setup. Arguably injured players, Bibri Ewoho, but I think Kotoko in the last 3 games they've just not looked sharp enough, and tactically they've not been at their best. You have to give, Tamale City credit for coming back in that game, especially just a few minutes after Kotoko had taken the lead. Kotoko has not been their usual self. They were picking up, gaining momentum before the World Cup. Maybe the World Cup came and it has taken some sort of steam from them. Zebo needs to put his act together, and the gap from the top is beginning to widen. 3 draws in a row.
Yeah, 9 points.
Yeah,
they are yet to win in 2023.
Yeah, he cannot blame entirely, his players. He also has to look at the way tactically he sets up against Great Olympics. Terrible performance, but Omunya draw. Against Tamale City, a bit better. They had chances. Again, they had a draw. So he needs to set up, talk to his players, and come up with better tactical appliances for them to get results.
How to folk need David Oklusone, Ken Faisal boy. Ken Faisal, are one of the most improved sides in the Bet Power Premier League. One of the interesting goalless draw, but one player announced himself to the Ghanaian populace, Linda Mtangi from Congo, and he was brilliant when he came on.
Absolutely, Linda Mtangi, excellent. Should have got at least a goal. His footwork, very deft touches, young guy, and the fact that he's not played a number of matches with the Phobians would indicate that
this was actually his debut for the Phobians.
With time, he's going to be a real spark, and I'm wondering how it's able to scout these players. I think Congo might be the lucky destination for us as Cameroon. For Kotoko, no?
Okay.
Yeah, because nobody's heard about this young chap, but
of course
his debut was excellent. He was unlucky, wasn't he?
Who were training that say he was a brilliant player. If he starts playing for Heartful, people will get to love him. And the few minutes he had yesterday, this was one opportunity he created for himself, and he was just unlucky. But this one should have gone in only for the goalkeeper to have a finger to it, and he went over the cross. He went against the crossbar there.
Yeah, it's not just his movement, but his decision making.
Okay.
Ball no bar. M said, "Oh no, I did I say he's coming to take a shot," and that's a sign of a really good quality player. He's a young player. He's quick. He's got good feet. He thinks fast. He's intelligent as well. I think Hearts have got a real little gem in their camp.
Of course, and how to folk match day 13, they will be hoping. Ebi Alenda, me started a game for them. But let's look at the top scorer chart. Fisa Hosu Huru Papa Wine Enedi Kind. Mezake Free of Brekum Chelsea is leading the goal scorer chart with 7 goals. Bright J, we're free Kromaha. They say we need Rihanna Biam. Let's watch 5 goals and San Odin and Tanzania. Bechem United say fast Kofi Manteso of 5 goals. Ibrahim La is here kind of maybe any goal stars. He also has 4 goals. And Issa Kuka of RTU also born home or the Papa Shana or also Shewa Honoma. I mean, it's interesting how we don't have the big names in there, but the Mezake Free, Brekum Chelsea, nobody saw this coming.
Absolutely. A good opportunity for a player to also make his mark. And unfortunately, over the last 3-4 seasons, top goal scorers now, they move outside.
Yeah.
So you don't have a consistency you don't have a consistency where, Brighton J is fine, but of course he's not going to get more than that. Where a goal king would defend his title and give pressure, or the young ones coming through would also give them pressure. So Ibia Mezak, after this season, might also be going. It has been a trend. And you can't blame the clubs, Mutala. They need the money to, for their operations.
Of course, they need the money, and they will need to focus on their next games as well, because day 13 promises to bring some interesting games. And also, we are share the TV fixtures for match day 13 of the Bet Power Premier League in HSA. Ababe drew Bechem United on Saturday, Betna the Nana Fusuji Abo Park. Now, so that game is at 3 p.m. and it will be live on Star Times at the channel 247 and TN Shannon so Bechem United coming up against Mediama SSC. Then on a Sunday, there's Hartford against Anno Walkers as Samatex and also because of Ankrah Sports Stadium 3 p.m. King Nasa game Nasha to build up for that one starts at 2 p.m. It will be live on Star Times at the channel 247. Monday, maybe any goal stars bet to the Fiena on the Kumasi Asante Kotoko Eddie Apem. So last season, Kotoko were the first team to defeat a baby any goal stars or Dance Park. Brante Isaac upon your bonnet brand. He says Sunyani Nema got Kumasi Asante Kotoko that important win. This time, almost a Koko PMO, baby any goal stars are an improved side under a year. Michael or say in Tienshe, sending Yema Besia call, but you get to watch that game live on your screens on Star Times at the channel 247. Monday night you will go rush Edinburgh, Accra Lions and Sunday Brekum Chelsea Edit Bepem. So yeah, these are the some of the games that will be showing on TV. That Hartford Samatex clash, it will be very interesting because Hartford will be making a return to the Accra Sports Stadium.
Yes, after the festivities where the stadium, went through some sort of how would I say it? Turmoil. Let's put that on another topic. Yes, Hartford will be happy to be back there after playing in Cape Coast. Samatex, yes, underdogs in that game. But of course, if you're playing Hearts at the Accra Sports Stadium, do you need any more motivation than that? It's going to be an interesting game indeed. But Bichem Midiama, so a cracker because Midiama have also been slipping. And I think Moses Parker's he's told them that, look, you can't keep losing and slipping down the league ladder. This is a game that Midiama must get something from. But Bichem would also want to bounce back after they drew 1-1 with Kim Faizo in their last encounter. Gold Stars, 2-0 lead against Olympics. They still ended up getting the draw. They'll be very disappointed. They go home, where I believe last season almost share Kotoko. No, Kotoko beat them. Kotoko one of the few teams to beat them. Right.
Yeah, but Isaac Opon scored the only goal.
A brilliant goal in there. So
only 3 teams beat them there last season, and Kotoko were one of them.
Very strong at home, BBND Gold Stars. And the whole town will be geared up. I'm telling you, it's a Monday game, but trust me, we'll have a full house for that. Accra Lions, Brekum Chelsea, another game where I think Lions start as a slight favourites.
Okay, and to match day 13, you get to watch it on Star Times at the channel 247. Now, just a Hartford Samatex, Ebetregu, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Eko PM, baby any now, one baby any Gold Stars, the Apem. So, Dance Park, that game will be a cracker on Monday. If I any national team issue because the Black Galaxies are currently in Algeria representing us. Tournament and the 13th of January, Black Galaxies EBC they will be playing on Sunday against Mozambique. Training kakra no muko pie mu Algeria no na omo se omo movie akobo camp base that is Constantine and na omo ko pie mu yenhwe se ne omo free omo base ekopie mu Constantine. Galaxies led by Anno Walker, Akopiem Womo Camp Base or Constantine. Now just a Sunday, Tregusa game Bebaso no Ghana and Madagascar Bompires have a Koyi Ediama the Black Galaxies. And a channel and it will be live on Star Times into all the 32 games you get to watch it. And Crystal Clear HD, not just a Wunyani baby, Star Times for pet and a Ubenya Ashayao. 2009. The first edition of the Chan tournament, Yekopie finals. 2014.
I think that was it Sudan?
Yes, 2014 years Ankrah finals.
Okay, so
since then, press qualified Kuraboying.
Who said maybe a young man? 2009. I'm in Sudan. with Nyantichi. That's when Nyantichi got his first ticket on the CAF, Owiniye, against Anjorin. And Ghana was there. We went there for the Chan, as you rightly said. Since then, it's just been back and forth.
Yeah.
There's a political twist in all of these tournaments. This time, Ivory Coast, there's a excuse, but this time around, it's Morocco that we're hearing
they are the current champions as well.
Omar withdraw, per what we've heard. And the reason being that they wanted a direct flight to the tournament. They didn't want to go through Tunis. Now, Mutala, in this modern day, in this era, if you give such an excuse and you withdraw, ready to pay the consequences, the fine, the potential ban, there's a problem.
So it goes
and you are the defending champion.
It goes beyond football. There's a political twist to this.
A regional politics, and that, there's a pride that you'd really have to get into the consciousness of North Africans to understand. Sebi, they will kill for certain things. And that pride, they don't want to let it go. And it is quite unfortunate. Constantinople, by the way, Constantine, that is where Alexander the Great, one of the cities that he conquered and founded, the great Alexander the Great. So it has a very, ancient, rich history behind it. So maybe it could go in the way of the Black Galaxy if we start right.
Of course, players are not work at their corner. Some of the finest we find in the Bedpar Premier League, led by Glasson Awaku.
Our best
I
players.
would say what they want to do is just put the smiles back on the faces of Ghanaians, because World Cup Nankoyi, so they would want to clinch this and make Ghanaians happy. Is it possible, looking at squad they are paraded, the likes of Kofi Koji, the likes of Kunedu Yadom?
As you rightly said, this is probably the best assemblage of local players we've had in a long while. And all share or more age, and you look at the experiences, a lot of them will be using this. Ebiomunim said they are not going to go to the World Cup. They're not going to be selected for the Black Stars proper. This is their potential stake to get something, get a gold medal, get a cup for Ghana. So for them, they are very motivated. The players from Haas, the players from Kotoko.
And there will be scouts around as well.
Absolutely. There will be a lot of scouts from Europe. And they've invited a lot of legends as well, including Asamoah Gyan, other countries.
John Pinto.
That's right. They'll all be going. So I think they want to raise the profile of the Chan to make it a more prestigious tournament.
Okay.
The prize money has also gone up. I'm looking forward to it, watching it on Star Times in Crystal Clear HD.
Of course. And Sunday Ghana, ABC Akanyene Madagascar on Star Times honum. Not just a Chan tournament and NHS about Sunday and Ghana Yebedi. We are hoping that the Black Galaxies will make us proud. Still on national team issues. Black Queens, so when your new coach, woman technical director, Mame Nora Hoptel, say one no and Black Queens coach taking over from Messi Tego. Now Mame Yedi Jumano Man no Wakasa Kakra, Switzerland and our free.
Yeah, I had a great touchdown last week here in Ankrah. I arrived safe and sound, and of course it's another heat here in Switzerland. We at the moment have snow, so it's a little change of 40 degrees, but I adapt myself. I met a lot of people already. I met my staff, the president, the general secretary, all the leadership, and now we are in Pram Pram, already providing our first camp. Look, this is so well prepared. The Black Queens coach, head coach, it's a very big task, of course, but I feel prepared for this task. First of all, I see me as a manager, and I want to surround me with a lot of good people which I empower, and I think I learned to be a manager over all these steps I did. And I also think that I learned in Switzerland very good what is education and development about. And I think I see a lot of potential in Ghana, and we need to provide this development. So I think I have these skills which I can bring here. And in return, I also want to learn a lot of this culture here.
That is the new head coach of the Black Queens of Ghana, Nora Hoptel. Yeah, I'll share the book.
Yeah, I mean, we're structured. I mean, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, the USA, Germany, the women's football, they take it more seriously than we do. They have a template which has worked for them. Okay. So hopefully, Ketokriku, I mean, the GFA, they've identify that ABR structure-wise, we are lacking. So organization, management, structure, that template, maybe that is where the missing link is. And bringing Nora on board, I think is a step in the right direction. No, man, watch a tracksuit top. I'm hoping that once she's here, she'll be teaching those around.
Very important.
Very, very important, so that the institutional memory that she's bringing from Europe, she can share it with our local coaches, and then they can also use that effectively for the local game and then the national teams. It's a process.
And Anita Reid Mungina apart. We'll be learning from Nora up till Obebojuma, Okitani book, Ejina Hot Church, so Obebojuma. Yanko England. Afibie sign things are not going well for the Blues. That is Chelsea and Obuko PM Fulham at the English Premier League game back up. So Joao Felix was making his debut for Chelsea. Obobia no Sanko di red card. Chelsea lost the game by 2-1. Yeah, Uncle.
Yeah, winless in 9. That's quite unlike Chelsea, and they've tried a lot of things. Omwako extreme. Abramovich. Football politics, the establishment got him out. They brought in a new person, new coach, new players, a lot of money, but there's something just not there. I will say it's a crisis because Arsenal's revolution seems to be peaking. Manchester City seem to be, but they're still up there. Manchester United, it seems that the rebuilding is also picking up. So you can't really say Chelsea, it's a disaster. They can also turn things around, just like Liverpool. But interestingly, game where M said red card, it marks debuts where players have gotten red card. Nunes for Liverpool, Koulibaly for Chelsea on their debut. But I think Chelsea will bounce, but they just need to stay together and regroup. Otherwise, top 4, Europe is out of the question for them.
This weekend, Yeshenim said the EPO will be back on Max TV.
Sure. And one of your favorite, boys, Ghana boy, if my friends say, Tariq Lamptey should be in action against Mo Salah. 2 Africans, one from the north, one from the west. And Tariq, obviously, if you've seen his performances after the World Cup, he's looking lively. And I like his attitude. He's always smiling, always bubbly.
But this is a big game.
It is a big game because if Brighton win, they will jump above Liverpool.
In the first leg of this fixture,
3-3.
Anfield Cobo 3-3. And Liverpool,
they could have won that game. They will be buoyed up, they'll be buoyed up at the Community Stadium in Brighton. And I'm sure it's going to be another test for Jurgen Klopp, who seems to have lost his way somewhat these days with the Reds.
So let's see how that one goes. Saturday, not just the EPO makes a return on Max TV. But Serie A is also back. Serie A, interesting one. And this way it's getting heated. Everyone was asking me, Dabena Serie A, Dabena Serie A. Sassuolo against Lazio is the game that will be showing this Sunday, 11 a.m. Not build up Pasha Sinti, 11:30 kickoff. Kate.
Yeah, and then the crew. Yeah, and I'm sure those who go to early morning mass will quickly run back home and watch it. It'll be at 8 o'clock, almost come mass. But by 11 they should be back home. It's a big game. Sassuolo have really punched above their weight since they came back to the big time. Lazio obviously traveling, but you would fancy that almost experience. What they have this season should be a bit too much for them. A great game to look forward to on Sunday.
Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, keep your dials locked on Max TV. Menko baby, only and remember Barcelona and Real Betis go PM Saudi Arabia at the Super Copa España semi-final game back or FM. So Real Madrid are already in the final. We quiet 2-2 with Barcelona winning 4-2 on penalties, meaning that we have a Real Madrid Barcelona finals. Yeah, so we have a Barcelona Real Madrid final again.
Yeah,
and it's a good one for them to take the semi-finals to Saudi Arabia to give them a taste of football.
Yeah, marketing. Manchester, Saudi Arabia, they have plans to bid for the 2030 World Cup or the one after that. So it tells you, sir, Cristiano Ronaldo, Oko outside, is not so much about the domestic game. It's bigger than that. It's about them now opening up to the rest of the world. They have issues with human rights and all these things. But I think they want to use football to change, to transform.
Now,
that.
before I be Ghana is half for talent, and Mati said 2 players be from White Wolves would be going to Spain. Abdul Samed Sali and Yunus Sali. Just 18 and 19 years. Celta Vigo for so Mumbra for trials, and that is a big thing.
It is a big thing. Meteya, now I was very happy because it means Celta Vigo, Oma Bagana, na Oma scouted, and they've decided that these guys have the potential. They've seen something in them. So instead of waiting for them to be 21, maybe a bit more matured, bring them over, let them play with the youth team, the academy, and then see their progress. And it's good news because White Wolves is a Division 3 club.
Yeah.
So it means that Ekoya, it will open potentially the floodgates for other clubs in lower division to get players, not just to Celta Vigo, but Obeka said, okay, third division team, we got 2 quality players. Maybe there's more. Kudos to, Manaf, the CEO, and to the rest of the team. I think they're doing a great job. And I'm praying that these guys succeed in Spain. It's a big, big move indeed for them.
Of course, and it's a big one for them. Yeah, basketball, and Ansana, yeah, sorry, so.